Now let's go to the UK, where the Keir Starmer government seems preoccupied with a Netflix drama, Adolescence, and is forming policies inspired by this fictional TV series. Meanwhile, Douglas, they're watering down reviews into real misogyny, into real rape culture that saw thousands of girls, of young women abused in the grooming gang scandal.
Yes, this is so typical of the British government. Kemi Badenoch was questioned on the weekend shows once again as to why she hasn't watched this Netflix show, as if it's compulsory viewing, and you know that it should lead government policy and so on. It is ridiculous. I thought the drama was highly specious, as I think I mentioned to you before. But yes, it's a complete cover. I mean, Jess Phillips announced, who's meant to be the minister who looks after women's rights, among other things, and she announced just before a recess the other day that actually the government was shelving its minimal inquiries into some of the rape gang scandals in Britain. And she announces that, and then, and her side says things like, that the opposition raising issues of, who the victims are, the fact that most of the victims in those grooming gangs were subjected to the rape and tortures they were because they were white, that mentioning that is in some way Islamophobic or racist and so on. This is so typical of British politics these days, as indeed other countries whose politics is being kind of grabbed by this agenda. You pass over real crimes and you talk about non-crimes. You ignore unbelievable things that have actually happened in your country, and you fixate on a fictional Netflix drama. I wish I was surprised that this is so Labour Party.
It is, and it is absolutely mind-boggling how this isn't a bigger outrage in the UK. There aren't people marching in the streets every weekend over this issue. It is rape and abuse and torture, human trafficking on an enormous scale across the country. And so many people who seem to be very much obsessed with women's rights and human rights pay it scant attention. Before you go, Douglas, I've got to ask you about John Oliver. He is upsetting people in the US and beyond with another lengthy rant about trans athletes. Apparently males have no real advantage and, women should just cop it. And those making an issue about this are the real villains. He also seems to be an authority on what happens in girls' bathrooms.
Last year, for instance, Peyton McNabb tweeted a video of her confronting a trans woman with the caption, "A man using the girls' bathroom at Western Carolina University, unreal," which is really nasty. And for the record, ambushing strangers just minding their own business is not what girls' bathrooms are for. Girls' bathrooms are for gassing each other up, making best friends in 30 seconds, complimenting tops, tucking in tags and zipping up dresses while one girl says, "OMG, that lipstick looks so good on you."
I don't know about you, Douglas, but I found that not only spectacularly unfunny, but also a little bit creepy. I mean, what is he on about? And what is this preoccupation with almost gaslighting the audience about the real advantage that male bodies enjoy over female bodies? That's why we have two categories. It's not just for the to double the viewing audience. There's a reason why women cannot compete fairly with men.
Yes. It's John Oliver, I said to you before. I mean, it's so strange because the guy started out as a comedian, and he just doesn't seem very funny. He talks like a sort of preacher at a pulpit, berating his audience in a congregation of old. I mean, it's very strange. He's not entertaining. He's telling, and certainly for me at any rate, it's not something I love in my comedy. But as you said, there's something a little creepy about it as well, because he's also, I think what he's doing is he's willing to go absolutely anywhere to defend a lie, which is at best cracked, I think, at the moment. This idea that men should tell women that they should allow men into women's bathrooms is kind of fallen apart of late. And it's very unpopular with the public, outside of a small minority of people who are obsessed with the idea that until a trans woman, as they call them, can go into a women's bathroom, nobody will be free and there'll be no justice in the world. But it is a strange thing. But as I say, strangest is that he's hanging on to this idea that this is the rights issue or something, after the rest of America has effectively said in the last election, we want to get beyond this stuff. Please, God, let us just move on and stop pretending this is the big issue and a complex issue and one that is so difficult we can't work it out unless you agree that all trans men are men and all trans women are women, and that's it, and just repeat the dogma of the time. It's so extraordinary to see. It really, John Oliver is being very 2020 there, and he should check the date of the diary, because you'll find that he's been in something of a coma.
Absolutely. Or he should move to Australia, because we're somewhat of an outlier, Douglas, I hate to say. We are still sort of clinging to those 2020 notions that, so-called gender-affirming care is kindness, and we should just respect pronouns unquestionably. And all. So Australia is a little bit behind.
I like the Australian public and people too much to wish John Oliver on them, Rita.
Well, I hope you're right. Douglas Murray, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.